Hey, good evening, everybody. Happy Saturday night. Welcome to the Pick is In podcast. It's your boy Heywood. Cheers to everybody. Um, how's it going, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. We have a special show lined up for you tonight as we're going to recap some of our best guests from the NFL season on the Pick is In podcast, as we're transitioning into the NBA starting this week. So, big announcement for that. But first, before I forget, don't forget to check us out at phoneboothpodcast.substack.com to catch all your podcasts, including the Pick is In. We got all the episodes lined up there. Everybody in the phone booth, much love to our family. Much love to my boy Snoop for the Here's the Thing podcast. Check his podcast out. Tuesdays at 6 p.m. EST, as he would have Todd Burr on for his guest this week. So please, folks, check us out on Substack. Show us some love there. We got all kinds of podcasts there, everybody in the family. So much appreciated. And then as well, don't forget to check us out on YouTube at the Pick is In podcast. Drop a subscribe, drop a like. That would mean the world to us. You got everything there from all of our content from this past year. A bunch of great shows. So just need to promote that a little bit. If you guys can just show us some love, that'd be excellent. Excellent. And major announcement. As you can tell, we're switching to basketball. I got the great Snoop Von Poop, my brother from another, joining me as a co-host. We're gonna go. We're gonna be doing it on Thursday nights. Time is not decided yet, but it's going to be exciting. This week, we're going to have a Carter from Odds On Podcast on the show to give a little insight on this NBA betting, kind of like a little teaching class. He's my brother as well, and he's going to be on the show probably weekly, which is an awesome get because I absolutely love his brain. So this Thursday, check us out for NBA. That'll be awesome. And big news for the show, possibly releasing a interview with the great Doug Franz. We're recording Tuesday with him, so possibly releasing that Thursday for the show. Doug Franz is a local legend here in Arizona sports media. He's somebody I look up to. He is an excellent, great man, and I am so grateful for having him on. So thank you, everybody. Again, happy Saturday night. Cheers again to everybody. I want to go into our recap for the week. That would be excellent. All right, our record and stats for the week. Since Saturday, we had 6 winning bets, plus 234.75 bands. Bands are units, 53 and 25 on all the legs that we wagered this week. Since week 1 of the NFL, when the show started, the show is up 2214.18 bands, 834 and 268 in all legs. So if you're tailing, don't bail, because every time I post something up on my page, there's a good percentage it does hit. So the show's rocking it. Just want to show you guys our recap. Always transparent, even if it's good or a bad week, but another good week as we are getting into NBA. All right, perfect. Perfect. So we got no NFL this week. NBA All-Star festivities is taking place this weekend in LA. 3-point contest was tonight. Slam dunks tonight. NBA is on a break till, I believe, Thursday. Thursday is a loaded slate, and that's when we're going to be changing our days. Like I said earlier, me and my boy Snoop going to be co-hosts. Got some good guests lined up for you, and we'll see how it goes. Very excited for the changeover, and great things coming for me and Snoop. So I look forward to it. Me and Snoop have a lot of sports background together. Been to quite a few games, and we've always loved chopping it up when it comes to basketball. So I'm actually pretty intrigued with what's going on. So what I got rolled out for you guys tonight is clips of some of our best guests from this past season. Now, just reflecting, I am so grateful. We had a lot of great guests. It was really hard to get everybody on this clip. But I wanted to show you the best of the best. So I got 6 guests, clips from the episodes this week, anywhere from 10 minutes long each segment. So the video is about an hour and 11 minutes. Get your popcorn, crack one open, enjoy. We got man, it's pretty cool. I'm really grateful that we had so many great guests come on the show this year. And thank you to all the people out there watching. If it wasn't for you guys, the show would not be nothing. Thanks for helping us grow. Don't forget to like and repost the show. That would mean the world to us. And cheers, everybody. Enjoy the video. And at the end of the video, there's no bets because we got no football. So that would be the last end of the show. Thank you, everybody. Love you guys. Enjoy. Cheers.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
The tag team champions of the world.
Yes.
Wait, so I got a question for Johnny then. So are you Badass Billy Gunn, I'll be Jesse James, or how does this work? I know I talk more than you, but how does this work here?
Well, so I mean, like, I don't know. That's interesting because one of them was definitely better on the microphone, but the other one was definitely better in the ring. Oh man,
That's
yeah.
funny.
I was thinking more like an Outsiders, maybe. Maybe we can go more like the Outsiders, like, you know what I mean? Because like that actually might be like the greatest like tag team, like yeah. There we go. We can hit that. We can hit that. We can hit that. You know, we can be that. So yeah, man.
Damn, I messed up. When you guys are coming in, I was supposed to go like that.
Oh man, love it.
Damn, Jonah, I'm getting to know you over course time. Do you like wrestling in your past at all? Because we obviously do. Do you like?
I haven't been super into it. No, that just wasn't something I ever got into. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're kids about it. We're kids about it. We still.
Yes, definitely. Still.
You're in the golden age of wrestling, though. That's why.
No one's
You guys
perfect.
watch that big stuff? Yeah, we did.
And when you say no one's perfect, what we would expect right now at this moment is for you to spit up some gum and smack it like that, like Kurt Hennig, baby. That's what we'd expect right now.
Well, you could be Randy Orton's dad, Jonah. He came with a cowboy hat, right?
Legend killer, Cowboy Bob Orton. Let's go.
Yeah, he always wore a cast on his arm, right? That was his finisher. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So go ahead, Jonah.
So I wanted to rep your guys. I want everybody to know where to find you. So I'm going to pull up your YouTube page here real fast. So check them out here. This is where to find them.
Tough Fantasy Football Show.
DA.
Yep. There you go. So make sure you head over there and subscribe and like and share some of their videos. Get these guys some props, some reps. So love it.
That's right. That's right. Gotta support the homeboys, man. They know what they're talking about.
Absolutely. So I hear we were talking a little bit before you guys. This is your second season together, giving picks to the folks. I love that.
Yeah, second season, man. We kind of dabble in everything, man. I think we're starting to really find our flow, for sure, man. As far as like picks, props, DFS picks. We kind of give like a little mild breakdown of the games, just kind of like what we would like. As far as like, who we think is going to win, who we think is going to cover on the spread. We'll mess around with that. Well, we'll hit on ownership as well. So like, obviously, if you're watching and you want to kind of know about some ownership, like hit us up on that. Like we'll let you know about that. We take start sit questions. Sometimes we go at each other's neck about start sits and all the other things involved. But like it's that's what it is, right? And Nick's doing his thing like with his props for sure. You know what I mean? So like he's been been doing a great job this year as far as like with the props and things like that. But like overall, man, like man, just here just to talk fantasy football, man. You know what I mean? Like, and if you really want like somebody's takes on like start sits or whatever the case may be, we do that. Then we do like a little recap. And then we also do like a waiver wire show as well, where sometimes notice that gets a little bit passionate as well. And then we've started to do some Sunday night showdown slates, some Monday night showdown slates, Monday night props, Sunday night props. So that's pretty much what we're about, man. Is that stuff right there? And I know I'll say it because I know he's going to say it, but I definitely want to make sure like I throw it out for sure. But like Nick's, he's been doing his shit, man, like over with Fan Tracks as far as like writing articles like for the tight ends and stuff like that right there. And he's had some really good takes for sure. So like, he's out there in that space for sure. And, just us collectively as a group, man, we're kind of doing our thing. We're in a couple different spaces, TikTok, X, YouTube, trying to get out there on Spotify. It's just an independent brand, man. And just really just, a 2-man show out here, man, working and grinding, every week, man, for sure.
Love it.
Yep. Nick, when are your shows? Tell the folks at home as far as like when your YouTube shows are usually on.
So during the season, twice on Sunday and then Monday Night Football. Just because, again, like there's a lot that goes on throughout Sunday, and we like to try to get it all in one day, hopefully. And then usually the waiver wire show, just because, you want an ample enough time to get the people the information. And overall, give our original takes so that, it's, you get to a spot where, hey, we told you guys from Monday, that when the so-called people told you to go take them. So I'll just say this, like, it's been, like Johnny's saying, like, we've been finding our groove and finding our niche and finding our crew and our community, and that's continues to keep on expanding. What I say best about what Johnny is like, again, like, he's the, he is the guy, like, what I'm saying, in terms of, like, the video stuff, the behind-the-scene graphic stuff, and overall, like, his flavor and his take on stuff is absolutely awesome to absorb as well. Makes you think as well analytically. And although I be over here, overall I be over here doing my thing for him sometimes.
I can't wait, man. I was waiting. I had it on my scorecard. I had it on the score. I said, this
like
he
said,
gonna do it. I know he is.
Get passionate when we start going tit for tat. But he knows at the end of the day.
Okay, all right. Listen, we're gonna find out. Oh man, I got some stuff in my. You better hope. You better hope I don't come out on the other end of it, because I got some shit.
Love the brotherly.
I'm happy for you either way.
I see. There we go.
I really. I mean, I
know.
I don't. If I'm gonna lose to someone, I'd rather lose to you.
Fair. That's it.
I say that to my friends too. If I'm gonna lose, man, might as well lose.
I lose my good homie versus like a random stranger.
Fair.
But no, it's just like our show continues to get better week by week, and in the space that we do, and I tell you, like, we are like, when you go search for other places and stuff, we give you guys the entertainment, we give you guys the vibe, we give you guys the juice and the sauce, so I like to say, and we are like the up and coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally number one contenders in the space. Like, we're close to, like, so-called being like, corporate-y or whatever you want to see it. No offense to anybody else out there, but it's like, look, we bring a different vibe, different flavor.
Yeah.
And we are proud of that. So we consistently, continue to do that. Johnny continually step up his game. Same thing with mine. And again, like, that's why I say we the best tag team out here, baby. So
that's right.
That's where that's just where it's at. Like, so we are really fortunate to be just networking with a lot of people. There's a lot of people that also, like, really support us, whether it be behind the scenes or just showing up for us on shows. And we want to give out that love to them people too, because without them, we don't have a show, baby. So, so it's just all love around the whole space. And again, fantasy football gets passion and everything, stuff like that. That's where the best parts come. And then it's like, okay, the players make us look foolish, or they make us look like geniuses. So, we can talk all the talk we want, but then the players out here, they gotta make us. They gotta, like, hey, yo, it's supposed to show up for me this week. For example, Jameer Gibbs. Jameer Gibbs coming out here scoring 35 plus fantasy points, depending on your league this week, to kickstart your potential win and in scenarios. So, like, we just out here doing our thing, baby, and we only getting better. We age like fine wine, baby, and they say black don't crack, baby.
There you go.
and talking about the players, sometimes it's a whole team, like the Texans, that expose you and humiliate you.
Oh, no. I know what you're trying to do there, Joe. No, you just made a bad choice.
But that, to your point, though, I look foolish right now because of the outcome. But if they had won, I would look like a genius,
Yeah.
Hey, Nick makes some good humble pie. Right?
That's right.
But one thing I wanted to touch base, I've even brought up to you guys, is I'm starting to see that with your guys' community. the people are consistent. Your inner circle about your networking, dude. There's a lot of love there, man. And like I got a lot of your people like following me and vice versa. It's just a good group of networking and smart heads will prevail and coming across the right way. You guys have great vibes on your show. Coming from somebody that's been playing fantasy for such a long time, to give up some of my routine to watch you guys says something.
Bro, I will tell you, man.
Says something. Like I am strong to my regiment. And I adjusted. I like what you guys bring. Your energy. Nobody does waivers on Mondays in the whole industry. That's one thing I'll give you guys. You guys are up and coming. I didn't know that you guys were around for 2 years. Thank you, by the way, for having me on the show. I had a blast on your show. A blast. Even if it's 6:30 in the morning, I don't give a rat's ass. I'll get no sleep to come on. So, by the way, folks, the last time the three of us, not Jonah, we're on a show, 84% of our bets hit. Just to let you know. Remember, we killed it that day. We killed it that day. Everything we talked about. Nick, I think you only lost one of your stuff on your prop bets that day. It was one of your best weeks. And everything I said, freaking, dude, that was a great weekend. So good mojo, networking, the love. Like I said, like on Sunday mornings, I've listened to Jeff Mans for 15 years, and I changed that. So that just shows you something. So a lot of love and respect. Keep doing what you're doing. So
no, like when I first like opened my DM and I seen it, I was like I messaged Nick. I was like, "Do you know this guy?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Dude, I'll just be real. Like, I'm always like super like."
Who the hell is this?
Yeah, like that's
you have to be. You have to be.
That's just my nature, man. So
you have to be.
Yeah, and so like I like messaged it back. I was like, oh, I was like, okay. I was like, yo, I was like, that was like the moment that I was like, all right, like for me, honestly, man, I was like, okay, like somebody actually like appreciates the work that like I'm putting in. You know what I mean? And so like for somebody to, to Nick's point, for somebody to like actually like appreciate the work, for somebody to see it, I was like, yo, I was like, okay. I was like, this is dope, man. And so like, obviously like you and I, like we kind of started like messaging back and forth and stuff like that right there. And I was like, okay, man, I was like, this is what's up, man. I was like, this is what's up. And, like I used to hear people say it all the time. It's like, yo, like, even if it's like one person that's like tuning in, like, like that's still like the motivation of like, have you get up in the morning, have you prepare, have you do that stuff, man. And like, for real, bro, like I really honestly can't even like put into words like how much love like I got for you, man, just like independent of like everything else, man, just for that right there, bro. Like it truly means a lot, you know what I mean, for sure. So yeah, dude, like I'm like forever, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, like this, like I'll rock with this guy till the wheels fall off.
For life.
For life.
Yeah.
And people, there is good stuff about Twitter and X.
Yeah.
Right here shows it.
Yeah, man.
The connection, the network, it's not all negative. Remember, your algorithm feeds off what you read into. So, I mean, you push positive out in the world, you'll get it back.
Guaranteed, man. Guaranteed.
Yeah, so that's crazy. I saw you guys as all your pictures at the Fantasy Football Expo, and I was just, it was killing me. It was killing me. It was killing me, bro. Like I planned a trip for like 9 months.
Yeah.
And I had to cancel 2 days before the expo. So like it broke my heart, but it was meant to be, man. It was meant to be.
Yeah. Like our Nick and I, man, like our relationship, like really like started like at Scott Fish Bowl. It started at Scott Fish Bowl 13, where I'll just go ahead and say it before Nick can, like, he outdid me in the Scott Fish Bowl 13. But like we were there, man, in like Lansdowne pub, man. It was like tight in there. It was hot. Like it was a hot New England day, bro. Like, and I say that being a guy from down south, man, it was hot. And like, we just kind of like, Nick just seen me and he was like, yo, his exact words is, well, I might as well come over and hang out with the only other brother that's here. And so he comes over and like, and then he's like, and, like we're like having a couple beers and like, we get to talking and we're kind of, find out like where we're drafting at and stuff. And, we're talking like throughout the draft constantly. And then like the draft's over and then like, we're just talking and just kind of hanging out like in Boston the entire time. And, I was like kind of on the fence about like creating content and like putting stuff out there. And I was like, And Nick's like, just do it. Just throw it out there. Like, throw it out there. Like, who cares? Like, oh, yeah. I was like, okay. Like, oh, all right. Like,
how'd you guys meet? if you don't mind me
It
asking?
was the Scott Fishbowl, literally
Okay,
Scott Fishbowl
okay.
13. Yeah, it was just like that. Like that's literally the interaction, and that's how it happened. And that's that year, man. I had was starting to work with like another group, and it just didn't happen, man. Like I had some family stuff happen, and I kind of had to step away. And I said, okay, like next season, I was like, I'm going to. And one day, I just started like putting stuff out there, and like, of course, like in casual Nick fashion, Nick was like one of the first people to be like, oh, blah, 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 like about the post, like not negative, just like interacting, right? And I was like, okay.
You can tell these guys are brothers.
Oh my god, yeah. And so he like responds a little bit or whatever, and I'm like making a couple shorts, and like I'm trying new things out, and like I'm getting like way out of my comfort zone. And then like
you have to.
and that was like a big takeaway was that. And then he hits me up and he's like, hey, he's like, are you going to the expo? I was like, I was like, I don't know. He's like, well, I'm going. He was like, so like you should go. And I was like, all right, like, cool.
Just like
and
that.
like and man, just like that. And like we went to the expo, man, and like we had a blast, man. That was 2 years ago. And then like we got back from the expo and Nick's like, we should do a pod. Like I'm at work and Nick's like, we should do a pod. I was like, okay, cool. And he's like, so like we just kind of like started like the pod like right then. And like ever since then, like that's what it's been, man. And like we're just trying to like, take like the initiative for like, the fantasy draft stuff, like like breaking down like the positions like for the draft and things like that. And so it's just kind of like just happened. And we're like, okay, like this is what it is. And right. And like, like if this picks up more steam, like that's obviously like that's super dope. Like if it doesn't, like we're having a great time, you know what I mean? Like just out here like chopping stuff up, and like some things have like, have happened for Nick that have been really good, like with fan tracks for sure. And like obviously, like I'll be the one to say it for him, man. Like like he's had Heywood, man, he's had a couple appearances on Sirius XM and stuff, which is obviously like a really huge deal, man.
Great job, Nick.
You know what I mean? So it's
hey, Johnny, a real story, dude. I told Nick this when he came by here. I didn't even know he was going to be on the first time, and I'm walking my dog like normal.
I don't remember this.
And I hear Bob Harris say Nick Wilcox. I dropped my phone and broke it. I dropped my phone and broke it. I was like, my homie? What? Oh, dude, big things, Nick. Let's go.
Yeah, man.
We're not talking about Nick Foles' nickname, but anyway.
Yeah.
Show me the money!
Yeah, so tell the folks at home, all the people that are going to be watching, where can they find your work right now? What have you been up to?
Yeah, so right now I've been diving heavy into the social media world. So it's at the Joe Ceraulo on Twitter, at Joe Ceraulo on Instagram. I've been working with my manager on kind of building up that social media presence because, as you know, my man, the industry is just constantly evolving. And the traditional days of television and radio are going away. They really have been going away since the pandemic, since we got to the other side of the pandemic. And for example, in terms of content, why you're going to want to follow me on social media, I'm going to be doing some work with VSiN at the Super Bowl next week. I'll be at Radio Row. And Radio Row, the way it's always been, very traditional media, right? Radio stations from around the country, from Sirius XM and ESPN Radio to ESPN San Antonio and some college stations. That's the first taste of Radio Row I got. It was college radio. I was at St. Bonaventure. I was a freshman with big aspirations and big goals, and I'm running for the sports director position at WSBU, St. Bonaventure Student Radio. I said, guys, if you elect me, I will make sure we are at the Super Bowl next year. Now, I'm running up against all juniors as a freshman, right? I was way in over my head, but I was confident that I was going to get us there. And so I got elected. It annoyed a lot of people who had waited 2-3 years who wanted that position. And I delivered. Sophomore year, I'm at Radio Row, Minneapolis, Eagles, Patriots. And since then, there have been 8 Super Bowls. I've been there for 7 of them. So this is going to be 8 out of 9 for me at Radio Row. And the way it's evolved and changed from just traditional radio to then they brought in some TV. And now I'm going to be there. I'm not even going to be doing a radio show or a podcast or anything at a table. I'm going to be doing social media content the entire week, interviewing ex-players, maybe some current players as well, other celebrities. You never know who makes their way there. Some stuff, some interviews are planned in advance. Others are, they just happen on the spot. You see Bobby Flay walking by and you're like, hey, can I have 5 minutes of your time? And so we'll see where it goes, but I'm excited to be back. My manager and I have some fun stuff planned and it'll be a good week.
What's Radio Row like? Give the people at home a little taste. That's something I've always wanted to be a part of. I've never done TV sports. I'm just now getting into it. When I started doing this last summer, I'm grateful for getting some followers and getting people to push me. What's Radio Row like? I've always wanted to be there.
Yeah, man, it is crazy. And I will say, there's a chance you could get there in the future because they have opened up to podcasting. Like I said, as things have gotten less traditional from just radio, it's more digital, more social, more podcasting. So, I mean, if that's something you want to do, man, I would put that down on your list of goals because I think it is actually a realistic and attainable goal in this industry. It's crazy. The first time I ever went, like I said, it was Minneapolis. That wasn't really indicative of what it's like because it's always in a convention center. That year, it was in the middle of the Mall of America.
Whoa.
So you were literally like in a taped off section in the Mall of America. The tables were like 2 feet away from each other, closer than they typically are in the normal convention center-like setting. I mean, you couldn't hear yourself think. You had the hustle and bustle of people shopping in the actual mall. You had fans that were like right on top of you. The Eagles fight song is forever ingrained in my brain because fans were singing it nonstop the whole week. I'm trying to interview Ryan Clark over here, and I got the Fly Eagles Fly 10 feet to my right. It was really hectic. Ever since then, every experience I've had since has been back in the convention center, the traditional Radio Row setting. So what it is you're talking about upwards of 100, 150 radio stations, TV stations, podcasts. You're at, folding tables like what Bill's Mafia jumps through. You've got your setup to broadcast from, and you're just, grabbing people on the go. Like I said, some interviews are planned. I'm lucky, I've got relationships with publicists and people in the space where, for example, when I get there, so I'm not going for the full week. One thing that's changed about Radio Row is it's become more of a Wednesday to Friday thing, whereas it used to be a full week. So I get in Tuesday to San Francisco. Wednesday morning when I arrive at Radio Row, my first interview is going to be with the former Buffalo Bill defensive player, special teamer, captain, Pro Bowler, Lorenzo Alexander, who's a great guy.
Dude, love him.
Yeah, I've spoken with Lo before. I actually interviewed him for the first time at my first Radio Row when I was 19 years old. So I've known him going back, 7-8 years now. And he's just a tremendous guy. So, that's pre-planned, for example. But then you'll be walking around and I'm a Giants fan, right? So I'm walking around one day and, oh my God, Justin Tuck is 15 feet to my right. So I go up to his publicist. Hey, are you, in charge of Justin's schedule? Nice to meet you. I'm Joe Ceraulo with whatever entity I was with at the time. That was college, actually. And, if Justin's got 10 minutes at some point in the day, would love to work him in. Boom, he can do 3:15. Great, we'll clear the schedule. We'll make sure, here's our table number. And so it's really just like a lot of hustle and bustle. I would say at the end of the day, maybe 20% of it's pre-planned. You got to be good on your feet for Radio Row. It's so much on the fly. And it's a ton of fun. It is the best networking week also of the year in our industry. So I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
Very cool.
Right up my alley. I do service advising and sales. So hustle and bustle is right up my alley. And I love talking to people. And 90% of my money is what I create. So sounds awesome, dude. Hustle and bustle. Alexander's one of my favorite Cardinals. I met him quite a few times at Cardinal camps.
Right.
He does local stuff here on the radio. I love his takes. He's great for radio. Actually, I think he might be a little bit better in radio than he was as a player. And he was a damn smart player. I don't want to tell him that, but
really smart guy. Cal Berkeley guy, right? So obviously he's a smart guy. Was just, I believe he got drafted into the league as a defensive tackle and becomes, a Pro Bowl linebacker and special teamer. Just a really great work ethic, better human than he was player even, and he was a tremendous player. So, I'm excited to speak to him, and then the rest of the week, it's just going to be a blast.
Right. So, as you know from my post, I'm a huge Back to the Future fan, right? With the Biff's Almanac, I'm Heywood's Almanac. I want to predict. That's my gig. That's my spiff. So Joe Ceraulo has the DeLorean. He's in Vegas right now, folks. He's not in Cali. Look at the background, Joe. Does it look familiar to you?
I love it. Look at that. A Circa Sportsbook. That's incredible. I don't know how I didn't pick up on that until you just pointed it out. That is incredible.
You got the DeLorean, brother. This is our background every week for football. And,
is it? Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, and I will say this, in the same breath as, like I said, there's, it's all love with VSiN. That is the best experience for watching sports in 100%. Las Vegas. I've been to places on the Strip. Nothing compares to Circa.
100%. My favorite freaking place. You drop me off there, all my friends can leave me alone. I'm good. Yeah. I am good. That's like Disneyland for me. So, yeah. Totally, 100%. So a couple things I want to bring up. Next topic, to promote Joe's bets. He's one of the best sports bettors in the business. You are. I remember when I first started listening to you, you were on that heater, but it was the norm, right? But
so that was around I guess that was around
May.
The end of my time. Yeah, that was around the end of my time at Cashing Out because I left in the midst of a 30-5 run over 10 days.
I just looked it up. It was your last 10 days there. You were 36-4 on your
Wow. Okay. Incredible.
and most of them is stuff that I do. Pitching is my go-to. That's one thing I was like, this guy has similar mind. I love the pitching aspect. And then one thing you brought up that I never even thought about before is the home team batting in the 9th inning bit. That's awesome. Yeah. I've never even thought about that. But one thing I want to bring up is your spreadsheet. So to some of your bets that you post on Twitter, you have a spreadsheet where everybody can find all your bets, and you're very transparent, and your year to date, your units and stuff like that, your wins, losses. So you're not all about making yourself look good. There's wins and losses as a sports bettor. It's just part of the process. Snoop, if you could bring that up, I want Joe to talk about it a little bit.
Oh, baby, there it is.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you about the spreadsheet because this has become such a good bit between me and my buddies. One of my best friends out here, his name is Parker. He does social media for ESPN LA and Amazon Prime. He's a stud behind the scenes. And we've talked about maybe some joint ventures because he belongs on camera. But Parker and I will go out on the weekends. And if I'm interested in a woman, we have gotten this little riff going where he'll go up to a girl and he'll be like, have you heard about my friend Joe's spreadsheet? And she'll look at us like she's like, what? I just left my 9 to 5. It is Friday night. I don't want to talk about spreadsheets. And he's like, all right, Joe, tell her about the spreadsheet. So I come in like freaking Leo in The Wolf of Wall Street. And I'm like, babe, do you want to make money? Because if you like money, let me tell you about the spreadsheet. Give me 60 seconds of your time, and I will change your world with the money I can make you with the spreadsheet. It has become our ongoing bit, man. This has been I kid you not, it's been going on for damn near a year now, this spreadsheet nonsense. So,
I told you he's got a great sense of humor, Joe.
Do you kind of at some point weave in there, hey, they say I'm a freak in the sheets?
Oh, that's a great one. I haven't yet. That's hilarious.
How long have you been doing a spreadsheet, Joe, for your bets?
Man, I started doing that spreadsheet, I guess, back when I was the social media content guy for Covers. So sometime in 2024, I would say. Baseball season 2024 is when it was. Because it was originally just for baseball. I wanted to see how I did baseball season 2024. And then last year, 2025, was the first time I did it. January 1st, I was like every bet for the year. Because I had done it for, sport by sport, like MLB, NFL. But last year was the first time I did it for the entire year. And I believe I made about 1,240 something bets in 2025. And believe I was up over 160 units on the year.
Yeah, if I don't mind, I want to blow it up full screen to show the folks at home what Joe does. Snoop got, if you want to scroll down to January 25th, that's the latest one that I found. So how often do you update this? When you post it, every few bets, if you don't mind talking about it a little bit for a second, Joe?
Yeah, every morning. Time of day varies. Could be 8:30 in the morning. It could be, 11 a.m. But this gets updated daily. And, even at times like yesterday, I was out and about for the games, watching it with buddies. I didn't have my official Seahawks bet in until the Patriots-Broncos game ended. So what I did was I put a little note in there saying, hey, going to bet Seattle, waiting on the price. Right now, the best money line's -135. I really try to be transparent because that is the key to building, a great trusting audience.
100%.
And I even put under that, and, this was a loss. I said also going to monitor both quarterbacks to throw an interception live. And I never placed the Darnold bet. I placed Stafford +160 at halftime. That was a loser, as you can see. I also added to my Seahawks money line position when they went down 13-10. That was a winner, as you can see. So I just try to be as transparent as possible, even if I know, like, hey, I'm not going to be at my computer, or realistically, like, we all have lives, right? I'm out and about with my buddies. This is not the first thing on my mind. So I try before I leave the apartment to make sure anything I'm considering, I put it there for transparency's sake. And I believe you'll notice a little teaser, not an actual teaser, like not the bet a teaser, but a little tease that I've got a same game parlay down there. I haven't released what this same game parlay is because I'm going to make a video and do it on my social media pages. But I've already placed a 3-leg, little better than 2-1 same game parlay on Super Bowl 60.
Awesome.
There
Awesome.
we go.
Thank you, Snoop.
I did, by the way, and I mean, I'm not going to steal the floor and do it right now if we're not there yet. But I did promise you that I would give out my first Super Bowl bet.
Yeah.
So whenever you want it, I will give out my first prop bet for the Super Bowl before social media. I will do it right here on your show.
Awesome. And folks, people at home, use a spreadsheet. He's won me some money, and this is something. This is something I've done for my income is betting. Like follow this guy, write his bets. Thank you for the 3-leg yesterday, Joe. None of mine hit. You got me money yesterday. Thank you very much.
Oh, you took the Patriots, the Stidham, and the Drake May on the rushing. Oh, man, I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah, that was – I lost Pats minus 3.5 on the hook, but that parlay, luckily the plus 185 cashed us in.
Yes.
There we go.
And then one of your strengths during football season, you have the Ceraulo pick 6. I know it's not current and going on now, but you brought a little video. I would like to show the people at home, just a little nugget for them. And if you don't mind, we'll go ahead and show that now.
Who's that tan guy?
Week 4, Ceraulo pick 6. Let's get some winners. Starting with the Lions, minus 8.5. Detroit, as favorites of 6 or more, have covered 5 of their last 6 regular season contests, winning those 5 covers by 17 points or more each time. There's no way Cleveland's offense can keep up in Motown. The Browns are coming off a high point after that win last week. Big collapse by Cleveland here. Give me Detroit minus 8.5. We're taking the Giants plus 6.5. I love this bump for the Giants with the new quarterback, Darts coming in. I think they'll keep it close with the Chargers and probably be a letdown candidate against Philly next week. But LA going west to east, I don't like the time zone change, and we're fading the public all over the Chargers, 90% of the money on the Chargers. Give me the Giants plus 6.5. Bucks plus 3.5 against the Eagles. Tampa has dominated the reigning champs over the past decade, 6-1 against Philly, including the playoffs. Baker, back-to-back games against the Eagles, 330 or more yards, 2 or more touchdowns, no turnovers. He hasn't turned it over yet this year. Tampa's not going to help Philly like the Chiefs and the Rams did back-to-back weeks. Bucks plus 3.5 wouldn't shock me if they won outright. Give me the Jaguars plus 4 in San Francisco. At this point, the Niners are practically rolling out the replacements team. They've got a ton of guys injured, and the guys who were questionable and might play are still brutally banged up. The defense just took a huge hit losing Bosa. I think Jacksonville's going to keep it close. Wouldn't shock me if they won the game too. I'm taking the 4 points. Rams minus 3 against Indy. Another AFC South at NFC West matchup. This time, I like the team out west. Daniel Jones is finally going to turn the ball over. The Colts are 3-0, should be 2-1. The Rams are 2-1, should be 3-0. Football's got a funny way of balancing out. I'll lay the 3 with the Rams. And then Sunday Night Football, we're laying 6 with the Packers. Matt LaFleur is going to coach circles around Schottenheimer. Micah Parsons is going to run circles around the Dallas O-line. Green Bay returns to the site of their blowout postseason win 2 years ago and covers the number in Dallas.
That was the 40-40 tie.
Yeah, it was.
Green Bay Dallas game. I did not win. I think it was a 4-2 week for me. I did not win that one though. That was
yeah, you were 4-2. You were
ugly showing that week by Green Bay's defense.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. How long have you been doing your pick 6 promo just for football? How'd that start?
Man, the Ceraulo pick 6 started in college. That is one of my favorite segments. I have been doing it since St. Bonaventure, since WSBU. When I started my solo radio show, which at the time college radio was unheard of, doing an hour solo without a co-host was like not heard of. I did it to the advice of Steve Cohen, my boss at VSiN. I interned at Sirius XM in the summer of 19. He said, when you go back for your senior year, do a show solo. Show me what you got. And so I did it my senior year. And the final segment, it was Friday nights at 5 Eastern, Fridays at 5. And the final segment, I did the Ceraulo pick 6 for football season. My 6 favorite plays ATS. I have since kept that segment going. everywhere I've gone. And that is a segment that I will never lose, no matter what network I'm on, what I'm doing. That Ceraulo Pick 6 will always be my baby, because that thing's been going on for, 7 years.
Don't lose that one. That is your baby, and you're damn good at them.
Thank you.
Damn good at them.
You're really big. We've been talking just pre-recording here. We're talking a little bit about the at least heavy influence, if not outright controlled outcomes, right? At least heavy influence.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of when you have that as your mindset, for me, what that does is it makes you take a step away from the numbers and the trends and looking at the talent of the players. And it helps understand and explain for these anomalies, these odd games when somebody just has a terrible game when they are typically so consistent, or, little anomalies like that. But share with us your perspective and how you came to the perspective of, I know you talk a lot about pattern recognition and the lines, and that's kind of your focus more so than stats, if I'm not wrong. So tell us a little bit more about how you look at a lineup and how you take it down.
All right, no problem. Thank you. Well, it's kind of it's been a long process. You're talking to someone who has been in this game for over 14 years. And when I first started this game, I was losing every day. So I lived in Phoenix, Arizona. There's not sports gambling there. There's Casino Arizona. You can play poker. So I was kind of in the poker world, the numbers game, the analytics. And I had my first child, and my wife's from Las Vegas, and she says, hey, we're going to move to Vegas. So I thought, okay, let's move to Vegas. So I came here to Vegas. I work at a local casino here. It's very popular and big. And the whole time I'm here, I also play college basketball, and I'm thinking, man, I got this down. I'm going to be able to hit everything. And when I come into the world and I start as a valet agent at the casino, I start betting like everybody bets. They love it. Sports is huge to them. So I'm betting every day, and I'm losing consistently more than ever. Like, I lost everything. But what I didn't do is, for some odd reason, I never got rid of my losing tickets. I kept every ticket in a drawer. So about 6-8 months go by, and my wife is like, hey, man, you got to clean out this drawer. Your family's going to come here. We had like a little 3-story house, so they were going to stay at the lower half. And that's why I would walk in the door, see my losing ticket, crumble it, and just put it in the drawer. And then walk upstairs, because I didn't want her to see it. I didn't want anybody to see it. But for some odd reason, I just would never throw it away. When you go to the sports book and you win a ticket, they'll take your winning ticket from you, but they'll pay you out. But if you go and give them the loser ticket, they'll give it right back to you. It's no big deal. So I always thought that was kind of odd. Well, if I hit a ticket and it's a winner, why aren't you giving my ticket back with the money?
Right.
So I didn't know how to figure that out yet, because I didn't have a mentor. There's not a lot of people online back then in 2010 and 11 about, numbers and how things are going. And, this is a time when you got LeBron James just got on Cleveland. You got OKC with James Harden. You got Russell Westbrook. You got, Kevin Durant. Big emotion, a lot of stars involved, and they're hyping up the game. And I go to my drawer one day with these losing numbers, and I open it up, and I'm actually like, shoot, man, look at what you just done here. But as I'm looking at each one, I'm actually just like kind of looking how much I bet and how much I lost, but I'm also looking at the value. Everything has a value to it. So not one was the same one. So as I'm going through, and I'm like, man, there has to be something here. There has to be. So I take a college rulebook paper, like I showed you here in 2013, of all these numbers right here that I started, tracked from 2013, first half, second half, and I go, there has to be here. So I take all these losing numbers that I have, about 2,500 of them, and I write them down on a book. All losers. In 2011, I walk into the Cantor Sports Book. I take my college rulebook paper that I have. I go up to the book. I look like a goofy dude, and I'm by myself in the corner, and this place is popping. It's the Legacy Stadium. And I open up my book.
I love that. That's one of my favorite places before it closed. I went there every year for the NFL draft with me and all my boys every year.
At the Palazzo?
Legacy Stadium. Love that place before it shut down. Love that place.
100. They still have it going on. He's not there, but yeah, man, that place is still going on, and that's where it all started. It's funny you say that, yeah, because that's where I'm at.
Wow.
And I take my book in there, and I go, okay, well, these are all losers. Let me find the number on the board and go against it. I got all losers. There's always going to be one on the board in every sport. Let's just go against it and see what happens. And I don't know any better, so I put $2 on it, and I hit my first 10-teamer at 700 to 1 odds for $2 for 1,400. And everybody at my work's going, dude, I've never seen anything happen like that before. And at that point, I go to catch on and go, man, I think I'm onto something here. I'm not emotionally attached. I'm not looking at it where it is. I have it logged down right here. Maybe I could see it again tomorrow. And now that I have 10 winning numbers and 2,500 losing numbers, maybe we'll just re-hit the 10 winning again. So I start tracking those. Ding, 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 ding. And it hits again. It hits again. And that's kind of where I started going on.
I love it, man. Yeah.
That's crazy you say that. I'll say it again, but yeah, my buddies and I go up there every year for like 10 years straight. I'd say from 2004 to 2014. Every year go there. Like
you probably
15 of
definitely
us.
seen me, bro. I've been there for 20 years, so you definitely
Really?
seen
Wow.
me.
Yeah, we always had a place on the patio, do the draft. They always had stuff inside, recording. I think
absolutely.
Booths,
it's a big deal.
Great place, great big deal. And so, what's it called? Don't mean to get off track. What's it called right now? Is it?
It's still. Well, it's not Lagasse anymore. He got out, but they have a little stadium in there, and they'll host a lot of it during March Madness. And they'll have it, but you can't bet in there. But William Hill now took over the book, and they haven't put a solely thing in there. But yeah, it still pops during March Madness, and they do more group things and functions where businesses will come in. But yeah, man, at one time for the first 5-6 years, it was all Lagasse and big books, TV.
Right.
Yeah,
I love the fact that you do notes. I'm a big note guy. I got like probably up to 1,000 of these notes over like 15 years of just like stuff. So I love the fact that you tracked it, tried something new. Just, risk is all part of trying to find your way in this industry. And wow, that's crazy. That's really cool that you went against everything that you thought it was going to be the opposite. And it started something great for you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it did, because also there's a lot of unknown factor, right? You're not going to get the answers from anybody. And a lot of people at this time, if I could tell you, I'm also brand new. So I moved here in 2010. I don't know if you've heard about Vegas Dave. He's a big guy here at the time, but he got in trouble, and he was a guy that would say, hey, you bet 100 here. And he was a big baseball guy, and he would use the cycle, the 3 to 4 game cycle. If you don't hit the first game with the Cubs, you're going to double up on the second game. You don't hit the second game, you triple up on the third game. If you don't hit the third game, you triple up on the, quadruple on the fourth, but you should hit it and get all your money back. But then if you get scooped on the series, you're screwed, and it happened more than not. And I see this guy charging when I first moved here, and I was even interested. I'm thinking, what is he doing here? $2,000 to $5,000. And it was big, driving Ferraris, driving around. But I'm also in valet, and I'm working at the Venetian Palazzo, it's the largest hotel in the United States of America, 7,500 suites. People are constantly coming in. All the celebrities go there. Every NBA basketball player, I've met everybody there. And what changed my outlook was running into this guy named Jim Feist. If you Google or look at this guy named Jim Feist, he is one of the first originators of Vegas Insider, of the numbers, and also one of the first handicappers ever to start a website that would give you winners. Like the movie with, what's his name? Matthew McConaughey, the gambling movie. He has a gambling movie and his name in there on a true story of a real gambler that would give out plays and picks back in the day 20 years ago. And Jim had a set service on this, and people would constantly talk. So I didn't know who he was at the time, so he would valet his car. So the whole time I would see this guy come in every Sunday, 9 in the morning, game start at 10. He'd give me $100. He'd want me to valet his Mercedes. He'd have all his books, his briefcase, and he'd walk right into the sports book, Lagasse Stadium, every Sunday. I knew he was going to come. In the meantime, I'm already starting to track. I already hit a 7. I already hit this 10-teamer. So I'm thinking, what can I get, and who is this guy in there? And when I go into the sports book and he's going in there, I'm thinking, this guy's got to know something. So my work always says, don't talk too much with the guests. Just make it personable. Get them in here, and especially if there's whoever they are, celebrities and stuff. Just keep it kind of chill, right? You don't want to.
Right.
So I didn't want to puke on the guy, but I did want to ask him when he came back to pick up his car. I asked him one question, and in the meantime, it was about 90 days that I'm doing what I'm doing, and I have to find my starting point. So I don't have a starting point yet. I'm trying to figure out, where am I going to go? Is it the opening? Is it closing? Is it the current? Is it in game? Is it the spread? Is it the money line? Where are you looking at here? So I asked him a question, and I said, hey, Jim, you know, if you could give one personal advice to anybody out there on just what you do, if I had a question for you, could you answer it? And he said, yeah, just go ahead and shoot me. And I said, hey, man, knowing that it's sports and there's value and there's money on games and there's different subjectives, like LeBron James brings more value than a Kevin Durant, or that's how they subjectively say, you get 65 million, but you only get 20 million. Kind of let outside world who's better than who without really knowing. And I said, what would make you think? Is it more the numbers? Is it more the value? Is it a key player? Is it a role player? When you walk into a sports book, they're going to have some of the games that are circled, and then it will say key player or role player in the book, Station Casinos, William Hill. So I would always be like, well, what does that mean? Or when you get the sheet, I was kind of confused because I really wouldn't know. And he said, hey, Chris, it's not so much about the money on how much is on one game. It's not so much about the value of each person. It really has to do with the numbers. And then he walked off. That's all he said. He kept it simple, vague. And I'm thinking, shoot, as I'm already following the numbers, I'm thinking, okay, you're someone that's been in it for 20, 30 years that knows more than me. I'm only about 90 days in. I don't know how many 10-teamers this guy's hit, but I've already hit about 4 already in the past 90 days. And I'm thinking, okay, now maybe I'll just use this more as my starting point, and I'll more study here than broad on everything. So I start focusing boom, boom, boom on one thing instead of everything, trying to find that loss. And then it came into me, and I said, oh, okay.
I can walk away. I'm not like, I don't have to have something on a game, which is a learned thing for me. It's kind of like, I used to love watching sports, right? And then I got into fantasy, and fantasy kind of kept me busy, right? And then, of course, gambling came along, and it's like, it's just a fun way to kind of have action on things. But I've also been able to like just sit down and watch a game. If you don't feel it, you don't need to feel it. Like, and I find like, again, I'm kind of connected. My kids are young. My son's about to go to college. So kind of see some of the younger kids getting into betting and kind of seeing what they're doing. And it's just always like, they got to have action, or things that, I got to gamble. I got to get it on. I got to get something going. And it's like, if you're not feeling it, like these late windows, I went in the early window today. Coming out of the early window, I had 10 wins and 2 losses. Heywood shared a lot of my bets with you, right? Tonight, live betting, 10 wins, 2 losses. Going in the late window, getting ready for this, hanging out with the fam a little bit and doing things, and you're not feeling it. And I wasn't feeling it. And I didn't concentrate the way I normally concentrate. And so now I'm sweating Gillespie for 3 points, right? So I can actually hit a couple bets, and it's like not going to happen. And that's kind of what I mean. It's like, if you're not really focused on what you're doing, at least for me, I make mistakes, or I don't get the right lay in, So yeah, I had a lot of action.
So I'll play the newbie here, because in a lot of ways I am new to your strategy,
Sure.
right? So explain to me, and also for the folks out there, what is late window and early window? What does that mean to you?
So just I bet a lot of NBA, right? So I look at each sport differently. So I've run a lot of businesses, been a chairman, been a CEO. I kind of treat betting differently, right? Like, what's the vertical, right? What's the vertical we're in? So let's say NBA is one vertical, right? So vertical by, I mean, I don't know, you're a consumer good. Let's say it's a soda, right? So we're a big manufacturer, and that's a soda. So how am I getting that to market? How am I going to make money off that? So I look at NBA a different way than I look at like NFL, which may be like salty snacks. That's another thing. So it's like, how do I bet those things? This is where I lose people. People like turn around and go, what the fuck is that guy saying?
I love it. I'm right there. I love it.
You can't have the same strategy, is what I'm saying, for at least for me, for everything you do. So for NFL, I'm like Heywood, man, I got books, right? And I got all these color codes where people go, you are insane. And I still handwrite a lot of stuff, even though I got models.
You still got the color highlights. I love it. I love it.
And for me, NFL is like, it's my ego play. Like, I want to research and I want to be right. And we all want to be right. And I think this is one of the things with betting, right? It's like people are like, I got to be right. I got to be right about my pick. And people get really butthurt when somebody else hits and they don't, because the reason is they got an ego and they put all that work into it. So for me, NFL is like that satisfaction. Is that a word? I don't know.
It is now.
It satisfies my need to kind of be right. Whereas NBA, that vertical for me is just live betting, data. I get all my real apps up in front of me. I have all my screens going, and I live bet based upon the data and the trends that I'm seeing, substitution patterns, fouls, lines, really start looking at the granular details. I do live bet NFL, but I mostly kind of pregame bet NFL and then kind of back into what was I right about and what's really going to happen a little more. And then NBA is just all live.
Interesting. Yeah, I love the analogy you set up earlier, which really spoke to me, of kind of you see yourself as a day trader in the NBA. I love that.
Yeah, it's definitely a day trader mentality. I think a lot of people, I've mentored some, I've mentored people, super smart dudes, but you can't run your business off a phone, right? And I think that people don't learn that, and even in like the business community, they're like trying to run their business off a phone. It's so hard, man. And I get it. We're like on the go. We're here. We're there. We're in an Uber. We're going every place, But at the end of the day, where I found success was being able to sit down in front of the computer, get my screens up, go into FanDuel on a browser, because it's easier to navigate. And I'm sure you guys have covered this, right? FanDuel is, they're scummy, right? They hide things. You can't get to things on the phone the right way. It's like
all the time.
But dude, on a browser, you can access this stuff so much easier, right? So I'm going to give the biggest tip. I know we didn't talk about this. But.
No, I love this because you taught me this a little while ago with use your browser on your desktop for your FanDuel. It's
right.
way better. It's way
better.
Open
up your FanDuel, right? And go to where it says parlays, right? And go to parlays. Click on the NBA tab at the top and then go to the side, click on NBA. And if you're doing it right now, then where it says parlay builder, right, and now it's going to come down. Like FanDuel is going to go, oh, damn, everyone's using the parlay builder. Parlay builder is a stock ticker. Jordan, you know this as a day trader, right? Like that stuff comes in real time. You're looking at real numbers. On your phone, when you're trying to access that, they don't tell you what the points are or how many rebounds they have. You're like trying to toggle between the real app and you lose it. It's not real time. So for me, it's like I'm able to get this real time data that I'm able to then leverage into these plus 112s and plus 143s and plus, 176s and plus 225s that people are like, I don't want to bet on that crap. And it's like, dude, I'll put 7, 8, 9 motherfuckers together. And like, what happens? I'll put down, Heywood, what was I doing earlier? $25, $50, $56, and what you're doing is you're leveraging that into 225, 283. And it's not a sure thing. But when you get 7 guys that are at 13 points and you're betting them for 15 points at negative 720, nobody's going to do that alone. But when you start laying them together in a parlay of 6, 7, 8 guys, now you got that up juiced up to 223. You use a 30% boost on it, you get it up to 310. So that's kind of my strategy with NBA. And then also knowing the substitution patterns.
That's huge. That's huge. That's really big, especially so folks at home. What he's talking about is the real app. Download it. Shout out to John and all the boys.
John and the boys. These guys
I learned it from this guy, and I thought I knew everything.
Oh my God. I come across so many people in betting that don't know what the real app is.
The real app is awesome. So it's an app on your phone.
Real app. John, peace.
Yes. Guys, that will give you the inside trait on live betting because it's real time in front of you. There's no lag. What you watch and what you do on your phone normally besides that app is always behind. Yes, it's the best app, hands down. It is the best app for sports bettors.
I love it.
Yeah. And it's a live ticker and it allows me to then like start leveraging. And I think what Heywood really taught me, Heywood knows the game. Like he knows football and he knows basketball. And he gets me to think a little deeper about like, I can't just pay attention to what the points are or how many minutes this guy's on the floor. What's the substitution pattern? And now I'm really paying. It was a little tough in the beginning of the year with all the rookies coming in and people from the G League coming up and trying to figure out exactly who's going to fit into the mix. And the coaches, they don't have to know. They're like, I don't know, So they're playing with the rotations. But now the rotations are pretty set. you know that Coward's going to play, X amount of minutes for Memphis. He's a rookie, right? He's going to come out and get 3 to 5 points in the first quarter. He's going to sit until about 6 minutes left in the second quarter, and then he's going to come in, and you know what? He's going to achieve that 10 line at some point. So just knowing what those substitution patterns is, and when FanDuel is slipping, because, and I don't know, but their algorithm is probably calculating that he's not scoring, but his ass is sitting on the bench. So he's gone from negative 300 to maybe negative 210 or negative 190. And now you just put him in a lay.
If I can make a good point, so you're talking about like you're watching the game on reel. You don't necessarily make a live bet right away unless you feel it. You're kind of waiting until that guy hits the bench, because the more time he's on the bench, the better the odds are going to go up with the algorithm. So timing of that and knowing substitution patterns, that's very important.
Yeah, you nailed it. And it's really hard. Like people are like, how come you can't share your live bets with me? And personally how hard it is, because things close so fast.
Very. And I appreciate that. Dude, my bro you hit me 3 or 4 bets tonight, and I really could have used it. So if live betting is hard to share, but we did it. And he went 10-2. Up to the night, and then he's been hot, and it's the NBA Cup too. It's competition, playing for money, playing for most points scored. It's all out right now, which is kind of different from most of the regular season. As my boy Carter knows, we have silly season at the end of the NBA, and you don't want
NBA in the All-Star break, dude.
Yeah.
That is bananas. Do not bet the week and a half before All-Star break or after, right?
Yep.
Give me the money, and I'll go take my wife out. You're just gonna burn it,
And you'd be proud of me, Carter. I actually finally got a date for baseball. August 8th is my cutoff date now.
I love it.
August 8th. I went back 4 years. I got notes like you, and I got dates for every year. It started going like that, and that's what I'm doing. So yeah, you got to look out for that too. Timing on.
That's smart. It's smart to know when to bet a sport and when not to bet a sport. And I think that people I did it. I learned the hard, and I'm speaking from experience. It's like I learned my lessons. MLB, me in MLB, dude. How much did I chase home runs or power, right? Doubles and all this other crap. How much money do you waste, right? We're taking a round bat and a round ball, somebody throwing 100 miles an hour and somebody swinging 100 miles an hour and trying to figure out how to time this up into a home run. That's fucking ludicrous. That is the biggest money waste or drain that you've ever seen in your entire life. And you know what? Every morning, I ran an algorithm. I crunched models. I was like, today's the day. And when you hit a 3-man, you're stoked. Dude, I hit a 3-man touchdown lay last week, a 4-man, another 3-man. Like that stuff to me is like, in NFL, it's a lot easier to figure out.
It's easier in home runs. That's for sure. And compliments to you, bro. I mean this. I'm proud of you for how you have adapted over the years, your style and strategy. You have always been a data numbers guy. And we put in hours together over the years coming up with parlays.
Hours? Don't sell ourselves short. Hundreds of hours, right?
I would even say maybe thousands, because we used to go back and forth day in and day out about coming up with a perfect parlay. I mean, one day we spent 7 hours building the 15 leg and we hit 14 and we got hooked, pregame, completely, change your strategy with how you do it. It's NBA's live. I feel more comfortable pre-gaming NFL than NBA now. And
Me too.
Partly because of you and what I've seen and over my notes. So props to you there.
Appreciate that, man. I think that you touched on something that's it's kind of taboo, right? But some people are kind of peeling back the curtain now. And Jony, you probably like this, right? Like live betting is not an industry. You can't make money. You cannot really monetize live betting, right? So think about something that's not monetizable in day trading or commodities or whatever it is, right? That somebody hasn't done. But we can go join a Discord and we can find 1 million people that are going to offer us a pregame bet or a lean on a stock, or here's what I'm on. Here's what I'm looking at when the bell opens. That's a business, and people got to monetize that business because, hey, here's my 7 leg. Here's my 9 leg. Join my Discord, $49.95. And it's no shade. It's not like Jupiter's coming over the sun or anything. Like, good for them. They've made a business and monetized it, and 100 people times $50.
That's good money.
That's a nice month.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, that's where we've been conditioned as bettors. We got to get our bets in. Dude, live betting, we're out getting a Christmas tree. We're trimming the Christmas tree. Like I can walk to the computer, hit on, and the data is right there. I don't need to be there at the beginning of the game. I don't need to be there at the end of the game. I need to be there when I need to be there so I can be there for the family or the kids or anything else that I need to be. But when I want to be in front of the computer, I don't have to chase bets. I don't have to give people money. I don't have to tail dudes. I don't have to get in a Discord chat, prove my bet's better than your bet. Look at our bets and aren't we great? Look at our, fuck you. You don't hit. I can't believe I'm paying you money for hitting. And it just becomes this like industry of it's predatory almost because people then enter it and take over from the good people, the real handicappers that really care about people hitting.
To go back to your Bills, John, I think, like I said earlier, I think the win last week is going to propel you guys. I think this is exactly what you needed. You guys were getting your butt kicked for a while early in the game, and you guys showed something. You showed something. I think your team dug deep, and I think it's going to propel you. All the haters, it's your time. It's your time. It's now. And I think you guys are going to go win it all. That's my opinion. So I think
love that. Thank you, Heywood.
Yeah, I mean that. Not just you're here. I think I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to put some money on it. But the Broncos, yes, they're damn good, but they're also young. So just a couple points I want to add to that game real quick. Shakir, I like his catches. Denver soft against slots. He ate last week. 12 catches. What do you have? 16 targets. So I think I like Shakir in that game. I think Cook is going to have a bounce back. I even see Allen rushing or maybe even 2 touchdowns from him. But I like your guys' Broncos. Go up there and get the win. So anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you can't forget about Josh. This guy, no matter what he does, every week people are doubting us. Stephen A. on TV telling us that we have no shot. People out, all these talking heads laughing at us last week, telling us we had no shot against Jacksonville. Josh is one of the all-time greatest quarterbacks in playoff history. Maybe the all-time best in terms of a guy who hasn't reached a Super Bowl yet. So he's going to come to play, and he's going to put it out on the line. And, if we could just play some complimentary football, get some defensive stops, I think we're going to be all right.
Well, for the numerology nerds out there, the gematria guys, it is interesting that this game, the Bills-Broncos game, is on the 17th, and Josh Allen is number 17.
Ooh.
So if that means anything, it could be a good omen. For the superstitious guys out there, it's a good omen.
And I was like, as much as I love Trey White, one of my favorite all-time Bills, just seems like a phenomenal human being. I mean that. Just seems like a great guy. He just wasn't playing well. And then as the season progressed, he got better and better and better and made me eat my words, man. He's playing at a high level right now. So tip ball, interception, won us the game at the end. So
don't you love that? Like when you say that about a player earlier in the season about on your team and they start coming around and you're like, I'm eating my words. I love it. Maybe I manifested.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great win
last. Talk shit about our players more often.
That's right.
Josh Allen sucks. He's the worst quarterback ever. Let's see what he does next week.
So you guys made some moves today. Curtis Samuel and Ed Oliver off the IR coming back to play for you. You guys elevated McCole Hardman and Frank Gore Jr. I know that's light loose, but Oliver could be something, right? You hearing anything about what he can get as far as his normal reps or a low snap count?
Yeah, I'm not hearing about how the coaches are going to utilize him in the game. Is he going to get 20% of the reps? Is he going to get 30%, half the snaps? Not sure, but he's a game wrecker. And if he's ready to go and he's going to play the majority of snaps, it's an entirely different defense. You're talking about a guy that can totally disrupt the entire game from the interior. One of the most dominant forces in the NFL inside. And if he's healthy and ready to go and they're going to play him a lot, I'm expecting a different defense that we've had all year, or at least since October.
Completely agree with you. He's a game changer, man. He's when he's healthy, he's one of the best at his position in the whole league.
Absolutely.
How long has he been out?
Since October.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you got a plane to catch? Are you flying to Denver
Yeah, I was going to earlier this week talk to my wife. She's been waiting to get out to Denver, and I told her we can get out there Friday night and come home on Monday because Monday's Martin Luther King Day. We have off work, me and Jeremiah, and she was all for it. And then we got into the tickets. The Broncos tickets weren't so bad, even for decent seats. I think it was like $700-800 for the tickets, but the plane fare was like $2,000, right?
Ooh.
Right there without a hotel, you're at like $2,800. And then unless you want to fly with 3 stops and have a 17-hour flight, like, no, thank you. I want a direct flight. And then hotel on top of that, you're looking at about $3,500, $4,000 before you even go out to dinner and have some fun around the city. So $5,000 trip, and I'm like, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
I'm not that rich yet. Maybe one day. I'm in the right profession, man. I'm in the right profession. Me and Jeremiah, but maybe one day we'll see how it goes. So
there you go. Yeah, give it a couple of years, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Make that private client, baby.
Couple of years of growth, yes, sir.
So that's awesome. You play fantasy. I'm a huge nerd about it. Been playing since '95. I think I'm in 6-7 leagues. I don't have an IDP league. I haven't done that. That's actually one thing on my resume I haven't done, but that's pretty freaking rad. So that leads me into my next couple questions. So a couple things. I have Caleb Williams ranked the number 3 fantasy quarterback on my rankings as of right now for next year.
Okay.
So I've always been high on him. I think he has the talent to be the best quarterback in the league. I think his ceiling is so much more. I mean, if the guy gets up to 800 yards rushing, oh my God, league, watch out. But a couple players I would like to talk about besides Caleb, your tight end, in my opinion, is the top 3 to 4 tight end in the league. In my opinion, you guys had the best draft out of any team last year. Absolutely love him. Get your running back position. Now, Swift's under contract, correct?
He is, yes.
Okay. So Kyle, help me out. Snoop.
Manungai.
I love him. Is the same feeling with the fan base and what you see? Do you see him possibly taking more of a major role over Swift next year going forward?
That's a really interesting question. Actually, for the mock draft episode that we have tomorrow, I have the Bears, spoiler alert, taking a running back. And that was more of a, you don't need to move on from a DeAndre Swift. He had probably one of his best years as a pro. He really bought in. He was a guy that would bounce almost every run. It was very frustrating. And this year, whether it was Ben Johnson, whether it was Eric Bieniemy, the Bears' previous running back coach, really got him to run between the tackles and really buy in a bit more with pass protection. So you don't need to move on from him in any way, shape, or form. If you did, which would save you some money, I think they really do like Kyle Manungai. He really showed that, he developed better as a pass catcher. He had a couple drops early in the season. He got better as the year went on. His pass protection was really good, and he is a true between the tackle runner. So I think, I don't know that they'll really usurp. I think the Bears really like the idea of a running back by committee, like a true one, and riding the hot hand. And that's where it's frustrating if you own really either of them, or if you own both, if you try to have a handcuff, that you don't know who's going to go off in any given game. But the Bears rely so much on their run game that you can start either, and you're probably going to feel at least okay about it.
Right. So this league is not about workhorse running backs anymore, and that's changed the scene with fantasy. It's more receivers, more earlier. There's not many true workhorses, so most teams do have a good 1-2 punch or more successful because running the ball is so darn important, especially with how many injuries happen, thinner pads, less callous and practicing, so on and so forth. But Montgomery and Gibbs in Detroit, Magungai and Swift, Thunder and Lightning. So between the tackles, Magungai, I love him. So they can get out of Swift and save some money possibly if they go another route, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but it's enough. It's enough that the problem is you'd have to probably move on from him before you're more sure about some other things. So you'd have to really want to move, have a reason to do so. I don't necessarily expect them to, or potentially if you did, because this actually happened to Swift before, when they drafted a Jahmyr Gibbs. It happened a year later, to be fair, but that they did end up moving on from him. I believe, they have an out if they wanted to. Okay. They have a per game bonus 30,000 this year, and it would save him, a couple mil against the cap. Nothing super crazy, but just like enough that you'd entertain it. I really don't think that'll happen, by the way. I think that they were happy with the 2 running backs. If they might add another one just as a getting ready for the future, because as we've seen, it's better to be a year early than a year late on some of these things. And like the team like the Eagles does a fantastic job. It's like, well, why are you taking this tackle? Well, it's because we need to replace the tackle in like 2 years, and we'd rather have them in the pipeline. They did that at center. They continue to do that over and over and over again. So that's one of the reasons why I, again, spoiler alert, had them taking a running back in my mock draft.
Where are you picking in the first round?
25.
Okay.
Rare territory for the Bears picking so late.
Right. Right. No, thank you for the info. Luther Burden, is he going to be taking that next huge step next year? What are your thoughts on him?
That's what most people and myself expect. The biggest reason that he didn't really get on the field early was playbook. And you still saw that at the end of the year. I mean, you saw that literally in the last game. That last play there's a lot of confusion, and Caleb threw the interception on. I mean, he still was telling Luther where to line up. And so it's the kind of a little bit of the between the ears thing. And not that he's not stupid, he's not dumb, but he just had a hard time with a pretty advanced offense in terms of alignments and where to be. And that's one of the reasons why Olamide Zaccheaus had such a long run at the beginning of the year. But now you saw at the end of the year really what the Bears want this offense to be. They want it to be a Colson Loveland, they want it to be a Luther Burden, and then a combo, that Rome Odunze, DJ Moore. Now, you don't have a full idea of what that is because Rome got hurt near the end of the year. He had that stress fracture in his foot. And even you saw in the 2 games he did play in the playoffs, I mean, he was not himself. He didn't have the burst. He didn't have the top speed that you would like to see there. I expect him to fully heal for next year. He's going to be back in his game. No big thing. But that's why you still kind of have a question mark of really what that'll look like. And it just ends up becoming, again, where do you disperse and how do you disperse the ball? And that's why it could be frustrating from a fantasy perspective, because let's say you do keep a DJ Moore, that's still a lot of mouths to feed. But that's why some people are saying that you could move on from DJ, because Luther could slot into that DJ Moore role very easily. And now all of a sudden he's a must own in any fantasy league.
Yeah, you guys future's looking bright. You have a great young nucleus, especially on that offensive side. It's time to get that defense a little, like you said, just get it in the mid-tier, and that's a huge difference of where it was, and that's going to go a longer way to your guys' success because your offense is damn good. Get a left tackle and figure out DJ Moore. I think you guys are solid there.
Boot for life.